I was playing another game that was also set in space, and is also a sort of an adventure game, but it is a horror game, psychological horror game set in space, and it deals a lot with, I guess,
Dead
space
Space.
madness. It uh, it's called Mouthwashing.
Dead Space.
Oh, dude, this game
Mouthwashing.
looks cool.
Mouthwashing has that PlayStation 1 era aesthetic that Zach is totally known for. And essentially,
It's more
you play-
Dreamcast.
yeah, okay, Dreamcast. First of all, the game's like 3 or 4 hours long, which is awesome length for these types of games. So both these games that I'm playing are shorter. It's fantastic length for this. You star as members of a crew of a crashed spaceship, and you run out of food. And the only thing you have to eat is mouthwash. Like, that's it. That's your whole sustenance. But how you get to that point of realizing all you have is mouthwash is super interesting, because I don't want to give away too much, but like you take control of the different crewmates, crew members in this, including the captain, who you see there is all wrapped in bandages at one point. And it's just slowly as you kind of see here, slowly as the game proceeds, these folks are getting loonier and loonier, and they're losing touch with reality. And like, I mean, the logo there is an eyeball melting, and it's like, there are aspects of this game where things are just falling apart off the screen, and you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing. You just gotta go forward. Like, it's a small environment. It's set on a spaceship, but the psychological aspect of this thing, I am so surprised at how well they pulled off isolationism, like interpersonal fear. The characters they have are great. There's a sort of like a doctor, and she's, you all right there, Taylor? There's a doctor,
He
and
drank some
yeah, he's
mouthwash.
drinking.
Yeah, I couldn't help it.
There's a doctor, and she's sort of like jumpy at certain things. There's a guy named Jimmy, I think that's the kind of the guy you're controlling the majority of this experience, who's sort of like your typical space crewmate, blah blah blah, type of dude. They're almost like these truckers, like these space truckers. Then you have I forget their names. There's a guy who's this kind of a jerk, this kind of heavier set jerk who thinks he knows thinks he knows the way things are. I've been doing it for so long, and everybody's a jerk, everybody's dumb, and I'm the smart one kind of guy. Really fascinating character. You have a kid who's his intern, and then who's kind of green to everything. And then you have the doctor named Curly, or not the doctor, the captain named Curly, who's like, he's the one that's really starting to lose touch with reality first before everybody. It's so fascinating, and it's so well written.
Dude, I just took a look at the publishing history from these guys, and like, there's a Dali.
Critical Reflex, man.
Yeah, we got a pedigree going here.
Totally, it's great. This game, I didn't say yes to the review code of this because I'm not big on horror games, right? But I had a break before whatever big game before I get my Switch 2 hardware, right? So I figured, let me find out. Let me give this a shot. I heard it's like 3 or 4 hours. The review guide was like, "Hey, 3 or 4 hours if you want to try it." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, let me give it a shot." This has hit my game of the year level of thinking. What was that horror game that we played at the beginning of the year that you guys really liked earlier in the year?
Buckshot Roulette.
No. There was the one that you guys were really into.
Arctic Eggs.
No, I think he's not talking about.
No, it's kind of classically, PS1.
He's not talking about Critical.
Oh, Crow Country.
Crow Country, yeah. So this has they do things of the era of that PS1 era, Dreamcast era, that is just nailing it with the right. It's just so good to see developers understanding like the return of polygonal design and what you can do with it to set a mood. And it's not just making things chunky polygons, but it's utilizing that to the design elements of everything. Because like there'll be mixes. There's a TV at one point where you're watching this polygonal TV, like there it was there, and all of a sudden you'll have like a live video on that TV, or like a like an actual video on that TV. But then the video goes from like live action to black and white to whatever. So cool, great writing, great characters. Short enough game where you can knock it out in an afternoon or an evening. This is a great game to play at nighttime. Psychological horror, man. I am so surprised at how great and well put together this game is. Like, I played it all through in one session. Like, very rarely will that happen to me. But I found myself playing at nighttime, and I'm like, I can't put this down.
I will say,
right, it's almost 1 o'clock. I should probably put this down, and then I beat it.
I will say, speaking of very rarely, I was looking at Steam while we were talking before you even started talking about this, and I saw this game. I was like, "Oh, that looks cool." And very rarely do you say, "I'm reviewing a game," that I'm like, "Oh shit, I want to play that." So
yeah, this review code could have been yours, but nobody replied back to me. So I took it. But no, I am great job to the developers. Great job to for what they've created. This is something to check out, man. I totally left me surprised at how good this game is. So yeah, I can't recommend it enough. Mouthwashing. It's a fun, well put together first person horror adventure game. Get it.